I'm going to the bathroom, right? And I'm hearing someone whistling.
What?
What? I swear to God. I hear someone whistling, and I think they're in the bathroom with me. He would walk around in like the Speedo all the time.
A Speedo?
You know, just a Speedo. Just a Speedo.
Like nothing else on.
Nothing.
Probably tan is...
Tan, yeah.
So we get out, and we're all getting out on there, and the whole family's there. So my mom, she's thinking this is normal, you know. We're all going to die in this boat. But, I just went along for the ride. And went up over there, and I bet at least a dozen rattlesnakes we killed.
Put on your helmets and buckle your chin straps for the wildest podcast held in the Steel City. Dubs and Chickenhawk will give you a taste of the past in fried jumbo. Alrighty, welcome to a storytime edition of Chickenhawk and Dubs Fried Jumbo. I am your moderator, Luke Fleming, and as I mentioned, these two are Chickenhawk
And
Dubs.
Dubbies.
What's up, Jay?
What's up?
Thank you so much, Luke.
Oh, no problem. Thank
We
you.
do.
Best moderator we have ever had.
Yeah,
I'm honored.
You are the best moderator.
You're the only one.
Yeah. Who else are you going to get?
I don't know. We'd have to pay someone, and that would be a problem. So, hey, have you seen the new tablecloth here?
Steelers.
Steelers.
baby.
And guess what the Steelers are?
Winning?
Yes.
3-0, baby.
3-0. All you Pittsburgh fans, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Lost San Diego, right?
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, this Justin Fields looks good.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man.
Defense looks great.
Yeah, might
And
have something.
we may have something.
You know, it is still baseball season, but in Pittsburgh, football season starts, so it's Steelers system, so the cloth had to change.
The
baby.
tablecloth has switched from the Pirates, who we were all ultra excited about at the midway point, and then literally they shit the bed
The bottom fell out.
like I've never seen.
The Buccos boat sank.
I don't even think it would be shitting the bed. It would be diarrhea in the
Sinking
bed.
in the ship.
It was bad.
Bad. So it's Steeler time, and we're 3-0, and that's great. Yep. And
Good way-
bring on whoever's next. I don't even know who's next. We're going out of town again, though. I know that.
What's the story time? What is it? Headline or the subject matter? Subject matter.
Our subject matter for today is camping. I hear that you both have some very interesting stories about childhood camping and such, or maybe later in life too.
Well, I think anybody who grew up in the 70s and 80s, man, it was like, because you didn't go to Disney World every year, to the Caribbean every year like kids today. So you went camping, family camping.
Family camping was big, and it wasn't in motorhomes. It was in like vehicles, like where you camped in, like you slept in the back seat of a car.
Like the Winnebago of old.
Or no, I mean, my grandparents had a camper that we talked about where they hauled it. It was called a prowler, and that was a big deal back then. But most people had tents, or they did it in like these vans.
Yeah, my dad had a van. You remember that, huh, Dubs?
Yeah, like
He bought a van, and then he actually cut it with a saw, the roof out, and put one of them bubbles on top, and then he put blue fur in there. Well, I'm not kidding. It was blue fur everywhere. And he made a bed in the back out of plywood and all that. It was super cool.
Is that even street legal?
yeah, it's
Yeah, it was-
illegal.
oh.
They made them in their own conversion.
Yeah, chalk
Okay.
shop stuff. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
people.
We had that rolling, man.
And I don't understand. It had a big like white dome on the
He
top.
did
of that
have a
thing.
white dome that I can remember him getting a caulking gun out and swearing up and down about the caulking gun and trying to
what was
glue
the-
it and screw it down.
What that was so you could probably stand up in the vehicle.
Yeah,
right?
he couldn't because he was taller. But yeah,
Yeah.
he couldn't because he was taller. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was better to stand up in, right?
Yeah, you had
For
more
kids or
headroom
whatever,
and all
yeah.
that. You could put a bed in there, and
Then we had the propane stove with the little screw on thing,
Oh,
Coleman
okay.
things. Oh yeah, we had the
like
Coleman.
that. Did you take that outside?
Oh
or did
yeah, you took it outside and cooked
Okay.
up a little bit.
You didn't. You couldn't use it in there though, right?
No, we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, you would have gassed out. I remember Eddie. Remember he up at the one place up in Westover. He created his own sort of fireplace and vented it out of the side of the building and things. So I thought maybe he had vented out your stove.
I was with him there when there was a window. There was no window in the kitchen. Of this
I was there. That was in Greene County.
it, right?
Yeah.
He started up the chainsaw. He drew a couple lines on it. He goes, hey, it got the size of this window. He must have got somewhere.
Yeah.
And Dubs and I were there, and he stood outside, so and he just started chainsawing right through the side of the house.
Yeah, it's like pushed it out,
Yeah, pushed it out.
put the window in,
Yeah.
put some 10 penny nails in there to hold it in place, and then put the caulking gun on it. And
Yeah. We had a window.
we had a window.
And what did this accomplish?
We could see deer in the backyard.
In the backyard, we
neat.
could see deer coming through the backyard.
Yeah, we used to have, like a salt lick and stuff.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a way to see if they were, eating in the backyard.
Yeah.
So
Should have chainsaw.
he chainsawed.
It had to be just me and you with them, huh? Because there was nobody else there. They would have stopped them.
No, it was, and he got lucky because he missed an electrical circuit by a quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. If he
just
would have hit that thing, all hell would have been going crazy. But he didn't even check. He just stuck it in the wall.
Oh, no.
You guys really just did anything back then, huh?
Well, you had to know my dad.
Yeah, he was.
Not scared to do
He was
stuff.
not afraid of
No.
either destroying an entire house, burning it down, or anything like that. He just
He had an idea. Let's go with it.
let's go with it.
Well, we used to go with that crazy van. We'd go to a place called Cutty's Campground. And I think a lot of Pittsburghers probably know about it because there was Pittsburghers from everywhere. It was right at the bottom of Seven Springs before you went up the mountain. You have like Sarnelli's Market and then you made a right. And it was down in that flat. And it was huge. I mean, it was
it's huge,
massive,
yeah.
huh? You would
Yeah.
get
It had
hundreds.
a big giant swimming pool.
Yeah, hundreds of campers.
Oh, hundreds. Yeah.
Hundreds.
And then there was a creek that ran behind it, Indian Creek.
Yeah, the little creek back there, which was a nice creek. And then they had this giant building. I'm not kidding. I think it's burnt down now, caught fire. But it was 100 yards long, and there was an indoor roller rink. And it was all made of wood. It was like, had to be Jenga together in like the 1800s. And the floor was like wood. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And you'd get in there at night, and that was the coolest thing at night. But literally, I can't remember even staying sleeping there because there was no parental supervision. There was like kids from all over Pittsburgh. Their
Running
parents
around
would,
crazy.
Parents would throw up a camper,
Yeah.
and they would be there all summer.
Yeah, and
Just running around crazy.
they would be lit drunk the whole time.
Yeah, the kids. Yeah,
Parents would be drunk.
I remember the moms would drink like Annie Green Springs wine. It was it must have been the wine of the day. But you never saw them. They were probably out drinking wine or doing whatever.
Yeah.
And
The whole scene.
the pole. Remember the big pole?
pole's
Giant ass
giant.
sliding board.
That a sliding
was
board
nuts.
had to be 30 feet in the air.
And there was no parental. I can't remember
No.
parents being there.
No, all you saw were kids running everywhere.
Yeah, and they had like pinball machines to the right. I can remember being those pinball. There was always the cool. Everybody had like those. Your hair was combed in the middle and split in the middle, right? It was longer. Everybody had tight jeans. The girls always wore Daisy Duke. Daisy Duke from. She didn't invent that. Those girls at Cutty's did. And then you would just hang out at the pinball machines all day and jump in the pool.
Oh, yeah.
It was a free for all. Then go roller skating. But I don't remember any parents.
No, it was just a lot of like 70s music blaring from the arcade.
Yeah, the arcade. You'd sit there. You'd have like Spicoli would be there, the coolest guy. He'd have the long hair, and all the girls would like dig him a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd get my share. You'd try to peel him off here or there.
Yeah, we were too young. You know what I mean? You ever see that? I'm trying to think of that movie, Dazed and Confused. Have you ever seen that movie?
I don't think I have.
But it was that era.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where we were younger than the dudes that were like the main dudes.
Yeah.
The main dudes were probably 16, 17, 18.
You probably
year olds.
went with me there.
Oh, I was there.
Probably with my
You
family.
guys were like,
Your
what,
family.
12?
We were like 12.
Yeah, we were like 12, and the 16-year-olds were cool, but they were always like getting the 14-year-old girls, kissing them.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. But every now and then we'd do our best.
They probably looked like giants to you. Like,
yeah.
Like when I was a kid, like the fifth graders looked like giant teenagers when I was in like first grade. It was crazy.
You know, not only that, they'd be like smoking while they're playing their pinball machines.
Yeah,
'cause
they smoked cigarettes.
Oh, yeah,
or
parents
pot.
weren't around at all. I can't remember parents.
Yeah, there was a lot of pot being smoked. Cutty's was the campground because, my grandparents would never go there, which pissed me off because we would beg Nancy and Brian and I would say, can you take us to Cutty's? Because that's where
everybody was
all
at.
the action was.
Yeah.
Right.
But they were like, no, it's Camp Kuwe. We're going to go Camp Kuwe up Keystone Lake.
Oh, Keystone Lake's nice.
Yeah, I know, but Camp Kuwe.
But the action at this place, I'm telling you, it was like a free-for-all for 12-year-olds to 17-year-olds. It was just fun.
Yeah,
crazy.
they had, like Camp Kuwe, we didn't have anything, to do.
Yeah.
It was just like playing the creek or something.
It was just that. Like they didn't have all this stuff. So for a 12-year-old like you, Cutty's sounds a hell of a lot cooler than Camp Kuwe.
Oh, yeah, Camp Kuwe.
Yeah,
was crazy.
and there was cute girls at Cutty's all over the place. So that was drawing, 12, 13-year-old boys. So that's like
Camp Kuwe.
Drawing flies.
I do have to tell you about how crazy this place was. But
go into Camp Kuwe for me.
oh, yeah,
once.
Camp Kuwe is unbelievable. But basically, Keystone State Park had on the other side of the lake was where you stay for the public access stuff, like it was a state park, so they had a campground over there. They're part of the state park. I guess some dude on the other side owned maybe, I'd say 10 acres.
Right.
And he created a private campground there.
Oh, God. Camping in the 70s, it was some strange people.
It was really whacked out. But he had a private campground. It was just a U. Like it went like down
the road.
Yeah, the road went like off the main road and did a U and came back to the main road. And you had campsites and there was pine trees there that were intermingled between set of pines.
To give you some natural action there.
Yeah, like natural sort of like campy feel or whatever. And then they had an outhouse there where you showered. You could get a shower, but you put like a dime in there. And you turned it like this.
Oh, so he's making money even off showers.
Yeah, like you would put a dime in and you could turn the shower on and give you like a minute and a half.
Revenue generator.
All right. But also, it was so crazy. But the bathroom, like where you went to the toilet, was an outhouse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're in on this floor, like first floor.
So the showers and outhouses were all kind of together.
Yeah, there's like two showers in this place, and then there's two shitters in this place, right? But the shit dropped straight down.
Oh my God!
Into a basement. Like it was a foundation under this. You know how a regular outhouse goes into like a ground, I guess the earth?
Yeah, they would have probably pits too that they made cement or something, but this was like
no,
a basement.
It just like went right down into the basement.
It was just a literal shithole.
Like literally, you'd go to a bathroom and you'd go splat. It would splat like 8 feet down.
And the showers are right there too.
But the showers didn't. They were on the concrete, so the water just ran down from the shower
into that same basement.
Same basement, right? Oh, God. So funny story about that.
There wasn't a DEP back in those days.
No. One day I'm in there and I'm going to the bathroom, right? And I'm hearing someone whistling.
What?
What? I swear to God. I hear someone whistling and I think they're in the bathroom with me or the shower.
Yeah, you're like, what the heck's going on
I
here?
hear someone whistling and it sounds like it's coming from down
in the basement.
In the basement, right? Where the shit is. Where all the fecal stuff is. And the toilet paper.
Gosh.
Yeah, sure as shit. There's a guy down there.
There was a guy. What? He was pulling his Slumdog Millionaire? What?
He's down there.
What?
I swear to God. He's down there whistling and starts hosing out the place. Like he's hosing. But he doesn't go upstairs and tell everyone you can't use the place. So I'm like a 10-year-old kid looking through my legs.
Butt sticking through the freaking hole.
Yeah, and I'm looking down through my legs, and there's a guy down there with a hose, and he's got.
Oh my God!
He's cleaning out the
wonder
place.
if it went right into the lake.
No, I don't think so. I think the dude went down there and just, I don't know, shoveled it out of there or whatever. I don't know. When I saw the hose going, I took off like cat out of hell. Ran down to my grandma. I said, I looked down through the toilet. There's a guy down in the thing. Because when you're a kid, you don't know.
Yeah,
you don't have depth perception and stuff. You don't know what's underneath.
Well, not that. You just came from your home in Irwin.
Yeah, I just thought he was like a lunatic that was crawling around in the bathroom. So yeah, that happened. True story, Camp Kuwe. But I have another
sanitary place.
I gotta tell you some more about this. But
go ahead.
So
please do.
This is crazy. So I don't know how to say this the right way, but the whole place was filled with lunatics. Right? There was a lady that had a camper behind us that. There was a great big one that you can't move. Like they just took it in there.
So they were permanent.
It was like a permanent one.
Permanent,
like the kind like
up on blocks or
like at Chad's camp.
Yeah.
The older one that Casey had or whatever. It was like that.
Yeah.
And her name was Dot. And her husband's name was Al. And they were both, I'm saying, big. I mean, like 400-ish.
Yeah.
Like massive
bigger people.
Massive people.
Yeah.
Massive.
The barbecue crowd.
But you asked my brother about this, my cousin Anthony or Leanne or Nancy, because they were kids there.
Right.
They went with us. We were different grandkids each time. Well, anyhow.
Yeah, because he could only deal with like two at a time.
Yeah, he could only deal with two of us.
Your grandpa.
Divide and conquer. Yeah, he'd only have two. So it'd be me and Anthony or Anthony and Leanne or me and Nancy or me or Brian or whatever. Brian was the only smart one. He got out of there like early.
A lot.
He only went like twice, and that was it for him. He's like, I'm not going back. But anyhow, Dot and her husband had, I guess, I don't. This is terrible, but this is the 70s, and things were nutty then.
Yeah, right.
But they had, what do you call it? Adopted two young ladies from maybe I'm thinking maybe like Vietnam, maybe or whatever.
Wait, I remember
from
this.
Asia or something.
Yeah, and they wore the geisha garb.
Yeah, what do they call them? I don't know what they call.
I don't know, but
they were dressed like that.
Yes, they wore the full garb, and they might have been like say 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, I don't know. Want to know those stories? Phew,
and it was terrible because Dot would be yelling
people.
the whole time. You know, I don't remember their names, but they would just be yelling to these girls to get iced tea or get the hamburgers cooked.
No wonder they were hiding way up in the mountains of nowhere. But these people were like.
But my grandma and grandpa, they would say, "Dot, what? I don't understand."
Yeah,
like no one understood what was going on.
Yeah,
and I think they called youth and family services and all that kind of stuff. But no one did anything about it. They were like,
oh man, geez.
Literally like servants to these
Imagine
people.
that hitting the news today.
Yeah, it was crazy. But me and Nancy and all them, we were always amazed that.
I feel bad about
it's horrible. It's horrible. But it was different times.
Yeah.
It's like we're doing these shows. You're talking about this. I mean,
yeah,
it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Now, they were older, and that's why I think when the youth and people came, they ended up being in their 20s or something like that. So it was no child labor.
They adopted them or
they were their family. They were their kids, but they really just didn't treat them like children.
Servants almost.
Yeah, they didn't treat them like children. They treated them like, hey, go get the iced tea, you know.
So this is at the campground.
This is at the campground.
And they lived there like probably permanent.
They were there all the time. And they were right behind us.
Oh, my gosh.
And that was whacked.
Yeah, I'd say a little whacked. That and the pooper scooper.
Then one more guy right across. I'll never forget him, Nick. He's one of them dudes. He would walk around in like the Speedo all the time.
A Speedo?
Just a Speedo. Just a Speedo.
Like nothing else on.
Nothing.
Probably tan is...
Tan, yeah.
Like crazy leather skin.
Remember back in the day?
Yeah,
like
you would get people like that.
They would get tan like... You can't even believe how tan he was. And he had like the black long hair, but he had like a giant circle bald in the middle.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Holy crap. This is like the movie Ozarks. For God's sakes.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. And what he did is he had a camper, right? Like pulled in there. But then he built like this, like A-frame on top of the camper.
And he lived there probably too.
He was there nonstop.
Full-timers.
Full-timer. He had a little sailboat. He would drag it down in his little bikini pants. He had his little bikini pants. And he would go down there and sail all the time. And he would get loaded he was loaded 24/7, you know, and I don't know if he knew people in the bars, like in Derry and stuff like that.
Oh, is it up in that area, Westmoreland County?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was always bringing young ladies back. And I thought, how? Like, they had to be out of their mind. He had that long, like, musician hair, like beautiful long hair, but there was a part missing, like all the way through here. You know what I mean? Like bald back to here, but then the hair this long.
What the world?
Dude.
It's a Halloween mask.
Yeah, his name was Nick. And like he was like a gigolo kind of guy. You know, and he'd be like, hey, what's up, man? Like the Fawns kind of thing.
Oh, my gosh.
He had the vibe.
And he lived there by himself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is what makes this so crazy is you have Dot and her wacko husband, Al.
Yeah.
And then you got Nick on the other side of you. And we got a situation here where my grandparents don't let us sleep in the camper.
Oh, my.
So
why not?
We're not allowed. Did I ever tell you this?
No. Kids aren't allowed. Dogs aren't allowed.
No, dogs allowed.
Oh.
But no kids in the camper. Not allowed.
Just the dogs.
Just Tigger and Max. The dogs.
This is a generation, literally, the kids today that have no clue, right?
Yeah. So guess where we slept?
The grandparents didn't have the same respect for children, I guess.
No. But guess where we slept? Where? You'll never guess.
No.
My grandfather put bunk beds inside of a metal shed.
Like
you know those little...
The tin ones from Kmart.
Yeah, those tin ones from Kmart that had those doors you shut even.
Yeah.
You couldn't shut
them. And you could put a lock on them once you close, and there was a little...
little thing there you could lock, right? So we're in the... He put
Isn't that tin thing in the summer?
Yes.
You'd die.
Oh, I know. We did. We were like dying in there. He had bunk beds. Now, guess what else is in there now? You got the gas cans. You got the lawnmower. You got the weed whacker. You got the oil cans.
All that stuff in a tin shed with the heat.
You got like 3.
It explains a lot about you, Dubs.
Yeah, 3 of those old time bicycles that are like. Remember those old time bicycles that are basically gigantus?
Yeah.
That you couldn't pedal because
they were just heavy iron.
Pounds.
Yeah, heavy iron.
Right. So. That's where we slept.
Wait a minute, you slept in there, right in there with all that stuff.
All that stuff. And the lawn jarts and all the.
I was going to say weed whacker, but you probably didn't have weed whackers back then.
No, he had like a sickle thing.
Yeah.
Like it was like a golf club, but it had like a.
Yeah, that metal toe on the front of it. Metal foot.
Metal foot. That's what I played with because I was so bored up there. I would be like
whacking stuff.
Weeds. Because I thought it was like a golf club.
Yeah.
I was so excited to swing a golf club. So yeah, Tony, my grandpa, hey Dolores, we got this.
He's the same guy that had you on the side of the road, though.
Yeah,
for a whole week down on Myrtle Beach.
Hammerhead. Yeah, and he would be like, "Hey, you got shit for braids? God, Jesus Christ, Lord,
but you were in a tin box.
Yeah, he goes,
in 90-degree weather
Dolores,
with gasoline.
They make a mess in the trailer, and we got plastic on the furniture for a reason. We want to keep this thing nice for our, So
that's insanity.
Yeah. So Nancy would sleep or Brian would be on the bottom bunk. And I was like super skinny. So they would put me on the top bunk.
Right.
Okay. Now, when I'm up on this top bunk, when I tell you that the ceiling was literally.
You could have died in there.
It was 1 inch from my face. I was like sleeping in an MRI.
Oh my gosh, I could have never handled that. Are you claustrophobic today?
No.
Oh my gosh, I
thought that would make you claustrophobic.
No, it never bothered me, believe it or not. But I had to mentally remember not to wake up and sit up.
Yeah, because you'd whack yourself right
smash my face off of there. So what I'd have to do is just like wake up and then slide out of bed.
What happens if there was a rainstorm?
Oh, dude, it was horrible because the rainstorm.
That had to be like.
It would be pelting so loud that you couldn't sleep at all. Like when a thunder lightning hit.
You're in a metal shed.
Yeah, metal shed.
With lightning out.
Lightning, and I'm 1 inch from it with my face.
So you're going to get struck by lightning if you blink wrong.
And we're sleeping with gas fumes. What I would be most worried about.
The 70s were so unique.
Yeah,
man.
The 70s were crazy. But what I was most worried about was like Nick coming over in his freaking bikini pants. He was always in the. What do you call that?
Or the two
Big
creepy.
Dick Nick or whatever he probably called himself.
Nick.
Yeah. Big Dick Nick. But no, he wore the thing.
Yeah, the
what do you call that thing?
Speedo. How far was he? Because he'd have chicks on the top of his trailer. In the
yeah,
middle
but
of the night,
what if he didn't? What if he struck out?
You're just sitting there and like, can you hear? How far away was Nick's chateau, his love palace?
10 feet, 12, 15 feet. Yeah.
So you'd hear him there.
Oh yeah. You'd hear him knocking boots all night.
That's something soothing to help you sleep. The sounds of
But at least you knew
the sounds of Nookie Nick.
But my biggest problem was like Nancy. She's a teenager, like 15 years old, 14 years old. What if Nick
all of a sudden lost his mind?
Once his mind comes into, they know we sleep out there. And then we had the two Asian geisha girls. They were all dressed up with that white makeup and all that.
They had the makeup on?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, this was like these people need to be turned in like immediately.
Oh yeah, they should have been put in prison for sure. Dot and Al should have been put in prison.
And this is a Camp Kuwe. What?
Wow. Or, no, it doesn't exist. Does this place exist today?
No, it's not there. I mean, the ground's there.
Because finally, the government went in and said, "What the hell is going on here?"
Oh yeah,
Diddy party.
There was shit going on there. It was crazy.
That's insane. I mean, literally.
But literally, I was scared. I was scared to death of the people coming into the thing. I wasn't worried about the rain.
You probably didn't sleep well at all, huh?
No. I would stack all them bicycles in front of the entryway so that if people came in, they wouldn't be able to get to us. We have other stories where I got hit in the head with a lawn. And then Nancy, I was firing them lawn jarts.
Yeah.
And she wasn't paying attention. I hoofed her in the head with one.
Oh, my gosh.
And that didn't even merit a trip to the hospital. Like, it was like, they're like, she had like a big bloody head and then a gouge. You know how like it hit?
Yeah.
And then it just...
Must just split it open.
And it just, and then it's just scraped.
No doctors, no emergency.
Nothing.
Yeah, they're banned now, lawn darts. Like, they're death traps.
You know what? Our grandparents' generation came from such nothing.
Yeah.
There weren't emergency rooms when they were kids, so they didn't think of it that way.
Oh no! I
was
remember another
wild.
time I'm riding one of those. I was always so embarrassed to ride these bicycles because they were them 400-pounders.
Yeah, and everybody had
Alice has like a 10-speed.
everybody had like the BMX.
5-speed thing.
Yeah.
And I decided they had this creek that the lake emptied out to. There was a spillway and then a creek, and that creek they would stock with trout and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to go down there this one evening, right? And go down there fishing.
Go get your fishing on.
So I come out of Camp Kuwe, I hit the main road, and then I'm going down this back way, and there's a big hill there, right? And at the bottom of the hill is where the lake empties out into the creek, and that's where you could start fishing. Well, I'm flying down there, and it's like Wizard of Oz bike, blah, 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 blah. And I have a fishing net in my hand. And I have a rod in the other hand, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm driving like this, rod in this hand, fishing net in this hand. I got like my tackle box strapped to me. Don't you know? I stick the end of the fishing net into the front spokes.
And I don't know if you know this about your dad, but at that age, well, even today, sometimes he trips over some things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a little bit clumsy.
A little bit.
Well, don't you know? The
my
net
God.
goes into the front
Ass over
spokes,
tin cups.
stops the bike dead, and I shoot like a torpedo down the thing. And obviously, it's
Nick the Dick came to save you.
no, it's no one came to save me. It's catastrophic
Yes.
injuries. I'm talking face just
Tore up.
tore off, neck, shoulder, everything's just a giant brush burn.
Brush burns were something
Unbelievable.
else back in the day.
You were
I'd
just
still
covered.
prefer that to a night with naughty Nick.
Did you ever have brush burns?
Yeah, I had brush burns.
Okay.
Oh,
Man,
boy.
we used to get them like every week.
Every week. But this was a particularly bad episode, right?
Oh.
And so now I have to push this bike back. For a little kid, this bike's 400 freaking pounds. And the wheel's shot because I ripped all the spokes out of it and everything. And I push it back, and it's like, there he is, shaking his head.
Uh-oh. He's waiting on you.
You horse's ass. You stupid bastard. What did you do to my bicycle?
I was worried about the bike. And you got blood head to toe.
Blood head to toe. I'm like, bleeding like halfway to hell and back. And my grandma's like, oh my God, Tony, we got to get him to the hospital. Bullshit. Get the Merthalate, Dolores.
Yeah, Mercurochrome.
Yeah, the red shit.
Yeah.
And here they come with that, and they start pasting
You with the
I'm
Mercurochrome.
screaming bloody murder because it burns.
What is this stuff?
Was there iodine in it or something?
I don't know what it was, but
It was
there was two.
mercurochrome.
There was two of them. There was mercurochrome and there was Merthalate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one was red and one was pink or orange or some damn
I
thing.
can't remember.
And it had like they would dip this ball in there,
It was like a glass
thing.
Yeah.
And then there was like a stick with
rod.
a ball on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they would get the fluid on that ball and they would paint you up on your
Yeah.
cuts.
Yeah. Touch it on you.
It literally burned. I know, like it was like burned with fire.
Yeah, probably like had alcohol in it, like a disinfectant.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got for the bike thing. Is I got told about how many
Oh my gosh.
expletives he could have used for me wrecking that bicycle.
It was 1948.
We can't even say most of
I
it.
can't say it on the show. And no trip to the hospital there either.
No, you weren't getting them.
No trip. Just covered in Merthalate.
If bones were broken, is like the only time.
Only
you would
time.
go.
No, I do remember specifically when I got home, I slept for like 3 days. Because I think I had a concussion.
You were not. Yeah, you had a concussion.
I think I had a concussion because my mom's like, "Why do you keep sleeping?" I'm like, look at me. I'm head to toe. You think I just got
I'm brush burned Billy.
Yeah. I landed on my head and slid down a highway for 55 feet.
Oh my gosh, you're lucky that's all that happened.
Oh, I know.
But you know what's amazing? Body healed up. You look good, Bobby.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But
You healed well.
There's some truth to that too, because you don't need to go to the hospital and doctors for every cut and scratch.
No.
That one you probably should have.
I probably should have went for that one because a couple teeth got
you
knocked
When you
loose.
can remember it that bad,
Oh,
you should have been there.
I mean, it was Nancy. I think Nancy was there. I mean, her and my grandma were in like tears. My grandpa was like,
You idiot, you dumbass.
Hammerhead bastard. He said other things too that I can't say because they were.
Well,
4-letter words, 8-letter words, 16-letter words.
Toughen up.
He was a scholar of swearing, it sounds like.
He was, and he was. I would say what his best quality was grading the damn parking lot or the place where he parked the camper.
Oh, he could grade that.
We had to grade it and regrade it every single week.
Grade it?
Yeah, grade it is just
the stones.
He would make sure he had a level, carried a damn level around with him.
Oh my gosh!
And then he'd back the camper in, and he'd set that level where that ball is across those two. Those things come out like a fork like this, and the ball here.
Yeah,
he'd set that level on there, and if it wasn't just perfectly level, we would have to pull the camper back out and regrade the stones. You know why?
With his OCD, when he got in his camper, if it wasn't perfectly level, he probably couldn't sleep at night.
Oh yeah,
it'd probably freak him out.
I mean,
but you got to stay in the metal shed.
Yeah. But it would
the lightning rod.
But literally, you know how like you're so excited as a kid to go camping, and you're like, oh, let's go down to the lake, get some evening fishing in before the so the bass.
Oh yeah,
you're like, oh, I'll throw some plugs,
night crawlers or plugs in there. Yeah.
Never could do it because we would piss around with that damn camper trying to get it level, and him screaming at me because then we'd have to rebring the ball in the car hookup and oh my
back
God,
at it. Yeah, there were no rearview mirrors.
No.
Camping in the 70s, my friend.
Speaking of which, you said you had another story, something about rattlesnakes?
Yeah, I mean, it is just a continuation of those times and days, man. We'd go to Canada and we would pop tents, right?
Yeah, pop tents. Most people didn't have a camper.
Yeah.
And it was like an Indian reservation area, and there's a bunch of lakes up there, and we'd go out on these lakes, but my dad would only get the 10-horsepower motor on a little aluminum boat.
A John boat,
and you'd go out on these lakes, and they weren't deep up there. So when the wind would kick up in the storms, oh my gosh. So you'd be on that boat, and he'd just keep putting along, trolling like he's going to catch something. And you'd be fearing for your life.
That water coming on.
And you got them shitty orange, they weren't like jackets. They were like, I don't know what the hell they were.
But when even they got wet, it seemed like they'd sink you.
They'd sink you.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget this one time, and I'll be quick about this because it was hilarious. We pull up to this island. It's really getting rocky. Okay, let's pull up to this island. There's a gazillion islands up there. And there's a giant rock, and he pulls right onto this rock thing, and we get out. And I was the first one out. There's a rattlesnake. I'm like, holy crap, right? There's a snake, a rattlesnake. Yeah. You didn't see them in Irwin. Mm-mm. He gets up, he whacks it, he kills it somehow. I don't know if it was, who knows?
With the oar or something?
Something. So we get out, and we're all getting out on there, and the whole family's there. So my mom, she's thinking this is normal, we're all going to die in this boat. But, I just went along for the ride and went up over there, and I bet at least a dozen rattlesnakes we killed. They were all over this place. And then finally he says, yeah, we should probably get in a boat and get back.
Get back there.
Rattlesnakes all around you. We get back in a boat. We go back to the campground, and we're telling this guy here, it's part of the campground, yeah, we land on these islands. There's rattlesnakes everywhere. And he goes, oh, well, yeah, there's few islands up there where there's an endangered species rattlesnake. It's the only place in the world with a special rattlesnake. And we've killed 1,000 of them.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, it just, yeah.
But your dad didn't tell him you killed any snakes.
No, he didn't kill him. No, because we were like, holy shit. He said, don't say a word. We'll kill all these
There is a smaller rattlesnake that's super protected in the Northeast. I'm trying to remember.
I don't know, but we killed, it had to be 1,000.
Yes.
And he's like, whatever you say, don't say nothing. And then we went on our merry day, fishing and camping and trying to survive and not die in the freaking little boat he had on the water. I mean, it was constant in the 70s and 80s.
And you did your part in killing 12 endangered species rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
I got to look up what they are. I want to see if you made them extinct.
The fear of men with their families wasn't anywhere near what it is today, huh? Nothing at all.
No, it was weird though. I mean, there's I think it's overboard now, but there's got to be a place in between where where humanity lives.
Yeah, where humanity lives right now. Because now it's so antiseptic, right?
Yeah, it's overboard. But back then, I mean, literally. Unless somebody cut a limb off or lost a finger, or they were just like
you had McCreer-crumb. That was it.
We used to get that shit for sore throats. Like we would have strep throat.
Yeah.
And instead of going to the doctor for strep throat, my grandma figured out, and mom, that you could just take mercurochrome and paint the back of your throat with that stuff. And it would cure strep throat.
I wonder what the heck that stuff's. I don't even know what it's made of. Somebody's going to get back to us and tell us on the.
Like if you ever look into that stuff, it had either mercury or something in it. And
probably
that'll kill you.
It back then, mercury was used for stuff.
It had high quantities of shit that can kill you. But
Dude.
hey, we all survived it.
Yeah, we all survived it. That's the thing, right? And everybody's, quite frankly, living too long, right? Right? What's going to happen in the next generation? Who knows? But yeah, somewhere in the middle, humanity should reside.
I guess whether it's a full body brush burn, island of venomous snakes, they just said, walk it off.
Shake it off.
Yeah, shake it off. You'll be all right.
There was 2 solves for everything. It was either Vicks Salve or mercurochrome or methylate.
And if you would ever say anything, what the hell are you talking about? What are you saying? You know, you yeah.
Unlike you two, I can't say I've ever been like camping overnight in a tent. Now I know why.
With rattlesnakes.
Well, grandparents talk to you, and they appreciate your opinion. Our grandparents and uncles, like great uncles and great aunts and stuff, they really, not the aunts, but the great ones, the generation before.
Yeah.
They didn't really care to know what kids thought about.
No. They had a tough life.
And they had a rough life, though. Think about it.
They had to survive every day. They went to work in mills and mines.
They fought in wars and stuff like that. But I mean, they had a rough go. But kids were meant to be seen, or seen, not heard.
Not heard.
Right, that line, that old line.
That was very true.
Yeah.
And even being seen was tough.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When you have like those Asian girls behind you camping, you have, what was his name? Nick the Dick?
Nick the Dick,
Naughty Nick, Nookie Nick. I came up with some
All
options.
I know is
why wouldn't you stare at people? It's a freaking freak show around there.
Yeah, Nick was leather, man. I'm telling you. He was just pure leather.
But he probably lived a happy life camping.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Nick.
He's up there drinking.
He's happy Nick.
He was drinking on Miller High Life all the time.
Well, that's camping in the 70s to the 80s. Crazy times, crazy times.
Crazy times. And I, for one, am glad I didn't get to experience them because I do not want my skin to be peeled off by a brush burn, nor do I want to step foot on an island of venomous, endangered rattlesnakes and kill like 80 of them.
Here's to that.
Well, if you ever do want to have some way where we relive this, we could take you and Cade camping sometime. In a tent up at like Laurel Mountain. And we won't have anything but a, sleeping bag and
a bucket to poop.
Bucket to poop in. Are you interested? You have to eat what you catch.
As long as Naughty Nick isn't there.
Naughty Nick. I like Naughty Nick.
Yeah, Naughty Nick. No, Naughty Nick's probably long dead by now. I mean, think about that. Now I'm 57. So that's 45 years ago. Nick could still be alive. He'd be 95.
Could be. But not with that much tan.
No, not with that tan.
Guess I'll be sleeping with one eye open. All right. Thank you guys so much. It's been great.